Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Neighborhood Conversations, where we chat about um, a lot of inclusive conversation, inviting leaders who are doing amazing things in community. And we're going to continue our impact conversations where we're getting to know leaders who are doing amazing things, getting to know their story, getting to know why they are connecting with community and what brings them in this passion. So today we have Yvonne Noel, who is an amazing leader, someone who I am learning today and getting to know, and I can't wait to learn more about what she does. And so, Yvonne, welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm well, Templeton. Thank you very much for having me. It's exciting to be here and be able to have a conversation with you about what we're doing and the impact we're having on the community for sure.
For sure, for sure. Is this your first podcast?
It is indeed.
Woo!
Bear with me.
Woo! Welcome to your first podcast. The listening audience, give her some grace period in this one. But I think you're gonna do a good job. You're gonna do a great job.
Oh, thank you.
So, Yvonne, tell us about who you are and tell us about what you're currently doing in community. Yeah, let's go from there.
Alrighty. Well, as you introduced me, I'm Yvonne Noel, and I'm actually the community manager for the Fairview Clayton Park Square Roots location. And we operate actually out of the Salvation Army at 50 Gesner Street 2 times a month. So, a little bit about me. I'm retired. I have a education degree as a background, but spent many, many years in business and sales as well as in business management. So, selling is my big thing, but certainly the passion for teaching and helping wherever I can comes into an impact on who I am and what part of my passion is. And I guess the funny thing about this is that prior to COVID, um, I checked out Square Roots and wanted to become involved with them because I really it aligns with what my views are in what we can do for the environment and in general. And I reached out, became a part of it, and about August of 2019, and of
Right.
course the whole world flipped in March of 2020,
Yeah, yeah.
and so that was a huge big change. But what one thing that Square Roots is all about, it's looking at the environment, it's a social impact that food can have on a community, on the environment. And if we support our local farmers, our food is traveling a shorter distance. So environmentally, that is certainly helping. And at $1 a pound, which is what the price was back in even 2019, that it's affordable. And often the produce that we're looking at is the perfectly imperfect produce. So it's what will not make the supermarket shelves because people shop with their eyes, whether they like to think about that aspect or not. But if it's not pretty, you're not going to shop. You're not going to pay for it because in your mind, you're paying for something, so it should look good. So, with the farmers and local farmers, often things are not perfect that come out of the ground. So they cannot sell it to the supermarkets. Therefore, it needs to be sold locally at some of the farmer markets, some of the little stands, and they're often giving it away. And for us, it's something that started with the St. Mary's University and Actis, their business team, is how can we get this produce to the consumer and make sure that people can afford to shop and get perfectly healthy, nutritious produce. And that's where they started. And that's where I thought, this is absolutely what I believe in, and I want to be a part of it. But the flip came in March of 2020 when everything shut down. And what was lovely is that the university reached out and said, we will give you 500 pounds of produce to give away in your community. Well, my first thought was that is such a wonderful thing, but 500 pounds of produce is only going to feed about 50 families. So, that's really not enough. So, then I started to look at where I could reach out, where we could get some funding, where some money could come from to help increase that level. And it's amazing what you can find when you go looking for it because there's a lot of community support. A lot of people believe in the same things that you do. And I was very fortunate, is what it comes down to. And if you'd asked me back in March of 2020, would this be still happening and would we still be giving away a lot of free produce? Absolutely not. I thought it was such a temporary thing. I think I was still in shock that COVID was shutting us down. But what I really knew then is that it was impacting people. It was impacting them big time because there were often households with not just one person not working, two people were losing their jobs, and nobody quite knew where we were going from this. So, yeah, we basically, no questions asked. The produce was available. You could come get it and just enjoy it. We knew that that wasn't going to be sustainable. And as we started to open up, because COVID appears to not be going away, but as we started to open up, we decided we needed to relook at the initial $1 per pound. And we're finding it, to be honest with you, difficult to get people to come back and shop for the dollar a pound. I think the fear is still there of, I don't want to take it out of the mouths of somebody that really, really needs it. But I order the produce that we get at our location, so I ensure we have enough to sell as well as to give. Because no, I certainly don't want to see people who need to do without either. So that's a little bit. Oh, what else do I do? I mean, I volunteer in a whole bunch of other different areas as well and on
Yeah.
different boards, but because I still think that anybody who can, we shouldn't be involved in as many things as we possibly can and make a difference where we can. And yeah, so I silently, I guess, I'm part of the board of directors at the Bella Rose Art Center because I really feel the Fairview Clayton Park, we have this beautiful center. Why are we not utilizing it better? We all don't need to go downtown to see a great production, things like that. So I've been on that board for quite a while. Prior to all of this, I was volunteering at Adsum House and on their board for their successful Canadian Women's Award, which was one of their larger fundraisers, and helped out with that. But I guess I do a lot of these little things and forget I'm doing them. The
Yeah.
school
And
system.
sometimes when
Yeah,
you're making so much impact in community, is that you just think about the amount you just continue to go, 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 go. I just had this conversation actually, I think it was like last week or a couple of days last week. And it's like you do so much and you forget how much you're doing in community, how much impact you're doing. And you talk about so much volunteering and involvement that you have in Square Roots has brought, I'm pretty sure, a lot of impact to community by providing these produce and giving with a happy smile and bringing those cherished goods to great use to community for sure. You speak about all this, and this is just impact. And this is all impact that you're doing because you're impacting people, you're impacting the community in that way. What does impact mean to you when it comes down to a whole different
well,
perspective? Yeah,
yeah, I guess kind of like the definition is impact is kind of what you do and how it affects others around you, the environment, and all this kind of thing. And to me, I think we're certainly doing that. But one thing that I also feel is important is that to impact others, you also have to empower and make sure that they feel good about what's happening around them. So,
right,
one of the things that we stopped doing, because we were handing out produce bundles to people as they were coming, we didn't want to be in contact. We didn't want to get sick. We didn't want to make them sick. But as we started to open up a little more, we could have continued to hand out bundles. But in my mind, that didn't really make sense because people are getting things they may never eat, their families may not enjoy, they may not even know what to do with them. So I decided that, that we wanted to go back to the old model because my thought was with the old model was you come in, you shop for what you want, and then we weigh it because it's $1 a pound, this kind of thing. Or in the case of anyone that wants free, it's free. But why not allow people, and it didn't matter if they're paying or not, to come through and shop? So we are providing dignity. They're able to make decisions because sometimes in their lives, so much is taken from them. So they aren't able to make decisions on a whole bunch of things. But if we can create a safe, inclusive environment where they feel like they can come shop, nobody's going to judge who they are, what's happening in their lives, that's what we basically did. So we took away giving the bundles out, and it was a little bit of a shock for some people. But once they realized that there was a warm, friendly smile on the other
Yeah,
end, and
yeah,
it was a welcoming place,
yeah, yeah,
it made it much easier for them to come and continue to come. And I think one thing that the impact that we've made on them long term is that people who now, even if they only have a toonie or they have, $5 to put in the jar because there's always a jar there, we see it happening more and more. Like, I can afford this week to give a little because they've done so much for me, this kind of
yeah,
thing. So to me,
yeah,
that's part of the impact that we've also had is making them feel good about giving back when they can. So
yeah.
that's a little what my thought is on impact.
And that's good. That's really good, and that's helping them to create their own impact to community as well by giving and also knowing that it's not going to waste. It's going to provide more into
Exactly.
the community. So that's really important. That's really really good. Did you want to share something?
There was one other thing I was gonna say, and the other thing that we encourage, and we do see it, is anybody that shops with us are more than welcome to volunteer with us. So, we like that, and sometimes if you can't afford to shop and pay, maybe volunteering is something that you can do, and we really encourage and would love to have that because that is making a huge difference in what we're doing as well. Because the more volunteers we have, and we do have over 100 on our list, but not everybody's available all the time. They have busy lives. There is still so much sickness, be
Yeah,
it COVID or just bad colds, flus, this type of thing. And we never want people to come if they're ill in any way, shape, or form because it's a vicious circle. We're just going to continue the illness going around and around. So, yeah, so we do want people to feel like they can become a part of us at any time.
I look forward to my family's security in the future. That's the main goal as a father.
The empowerment from changing careers has really just made me want to get out of bed in the morning.
I'm looking forward to growing my business. So I want to hire people like I was hired. I want to give guys that chance.
Il me fera plaisir de continuer à travailler avec les immigrants francophones en Nouvelle-Écosse.
I am looking forward to the financial freedom that I never had before.
wow. I should come visit and volunteer at some point just to see how because I've heard of your organization for quite a bit and learning about the amazing work that you're doing. It's really good. We speak about impact. Can you tell us why impact is important in today's society? Helping other organizations to see why they should be making impact instead of thinking about it as a sale or next sale for people, but more so investing in the community and giving that part. Yeah.
Well, one of the big things that I totally believe in is that we are all doing wonderful things within our communities, but we're often not working together, and together we can make a bigger impact. So if we think about it, I'm providing food and things like that. But the other thing and we do, by the way, I should mention that one, that we do supply a box of apples to the local community schools each time we have a Square Roots. But what I've also been trying to encourage within the school system, if you're going to go buy more apples, why don't you shop and buy from us? Because you are also helping us making an impact on
Yeah.
how much we can then afford to continue to, buy more produce, supply more free. And I think that's the big thing is trying to teach people is you shop, you spend $1 a pound. Some of that money can go back into buying more produce, supplying more produce for people in need. So I've started encouraging more and more of shop with us. If you need any kind of produce for anything that you're doing, any community meals that you're providing, if you buy from us, we're we're helping you because it's cheaper than what you're going to pay in a supermarket, but you're also helping us continue the good that we're doing. And Valentine's Day was a really special one that we partnered with Shabukto Links as well as Santa's for Seniors. And together we actually, people could buy a $5 bundle of produce for a senior. We also had money that was donated. So when the bundles were put together for delivery, and there were over 400 seniors received free bundles of produce,
That's amazing.
compliments of all of us. It was basically a phenomenal thing. So they've got their produce. They had a little bit of chocolate in there because we were able to take some of the money and buy chocolates. They also received a recipe from Community Health Team, who we partner with all the time. And so there was a nice little recipe that they could use the veggies to make a meal for themselves. And so people were able to donate $5 and either recommend a senior, supply their address and everything, and that senior would get the bundle, or it was just donations in general. So those are the types of things that I really feel that we can work together on in a community, is to continue to do good and feel good things. And then, seniors were so happy to receive these. They were like little Valentine treats, like Valentine's for Seniors kind of thing, veggie bundles. And it was a wonderful thing, and that just happened in February. But I mean, I have great relationship with the YMCA, ISONS, the school system, Schools Plus, you name it. We are there. Kin Cup of Halifax. They will buy from us if they need to donate apples, let's say, to Hope Cottage and things like that. And it's that partnership and that working together and making and doing good that I think it makes a big, big impact on what we can do in general and what we can do in society. And
Wow.
hopefully encourage anybody that can't afford to, donate, but they can also give their time. And that's a huge, huge donation and impact by all means.
Giving time is always a good thing, and I love the part where you say that, hey, it's about working together. It's not about competition. And I feel like that if we all can work together, if we all can partner together, if we all can make change together, we can all get our investments that we need. But it's all about the community impact that will bring all sort of that thing, investment in financial stability and everything for the organization to stay alive. I mean, all those will come, but just continue to partner, just continue to connect with each other in order to make the greater impact. Because other things will come more than you expected. I'm pretty sure you did not expect that large amount of 400 elderly individuals to be served. So that was like an amazing impact right there.
It was amazing and wonderful. And one of the other things, golly, it's over a year now. It was a year ago in November.
Yeah.
I sat back, I'd read an article and it said, don't give me a loaf of bread if you're not going to give me some peanut butter. Don't give me eggs if you don't give me milk, and all kinds of these things. And I sat back and I thought, wow, that really does make a difference. And often when you visit a food bank, you're giving a bag of things.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. At least you're given something, and
Yeah.
hopefully you have something at home to make a meal out of that. So we created meal kits, and it basically very much in line with HelloFresh, these types of things. So we put together once a month a meal kit that is pre-measured ingredients and everything that you will need to create one healthy, good meal per month for families. So community health teams, they supply the recipe, and the recipes are simple, basic ingredients that can be duplicated and made again in the future, but it's often items that are sitting in your pantry at home as well. And we've made a huge impact there as well, because every month we do this, and we operate with Square Roots 2 times a month. It's the second Square Roots weekend of the month that we do the meal kits. And we also are partnering within the community, thus making an impact with any groups, organizations that would like to work with us, they'll put together the dry ingredients, the pre-measured dry ingredients to go in the meal kits. They do them off-site at their workspace and things like that. And it's just become a wonderful, wonderful thing. And of course, you know about that because your location also looked after supplying or taking the time to do the dry ingredients. And we find it huge difference for us because our Friday afternoons of putting everything together once the veggies arrive and maybe it's pre-measured wet ingredients because they don't travel well, so we need to do those on site, but having others do the dry ingredients is a huge thing, and it's so exciting because people want to do this, and boy, we want them to. And yeah, so it's fun. The bundles, I should say, the meal kits rather, can be purchased at $5 each, which is a nominal fee, and it feeds a family of 6, a main course and a dessert, and it's healthy, is what it comes down to, and simple to make is the other thing, because we don't want to create meals that you'll never be able to duplicate and replicate at home, and you probably will never make. Whereas these are wonderful recipes that people make over and over again.
Wow, that is so amazing that you take time to go into that much of good labor. I don't call it hard labor; it's good labor to connect in that way. And yes, teamwork has taken part of that with putting the dry pieces together in order for it to be shipped. And that's a really amazing cause that we did. I think it was last year we did that.
Yes.
It was really good. This is all good. How can people get involved and get connected? What are ways of reaching out if people want to volunteer and they want to be a part of this as well?
We do have a Facebook page. It's Fairview Clayton Park Square Roots. Also, the email address is extremely long, but it makes perfect sense once you hear it. So it is Square Roots Fairview Clayton Park @gmail.com. Takes forever to write it, but it is exactly who we are. Square Roots Fairview Clayton Park @gmail.com. So it's that's who we are. That's the other way to reach out. And we want everyone and anyone that wants to be involved to become involved with us in one way, shape, or form. Now, the only thing that's tough for some people, we only operate on Friday and Saturday twice a month. Fridays, normally it's around 4:30, 5 o'clock on a normal weekend. We're done within an hour or so. It's like a well-oiled machine now. We can get things put together, organized, and done. On days of the Fridays of meal kits, we still don't need to be. We used to start at 3 o'clock, and I think we need to make it later because we are so good now. It's like in and out in no time. So we're going to start around 4 o'clock from now on. Still done around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it's not a long amount of time required. And when it comes to doing the dry ingredients for the meal kits, they're done off site. They're done within an hour at most organizations. So it is quite an easy thing to do, and a fun, team building thing as well.
And giving back. And so that's a great way. And so I encourage organizations to reach out for sure, to take part and to be a part of this amazing. This has been so amazing, Yvonne, to have you on and to share impact with the neighborhood conversation today. But before we go, we always say leave us a little bit of hope with either a quote or saying that you go by that helps people to move forward. So what do you got for us?
My big quote, and I really don't even know where it came from, to be honest with you, it is, you can't help everyone, but if everyone helps someone, we can make a difference in the world.
Wow. That is really reflective. Can you say that again?
You can't help everyone, but if everyone helps someone, we can all make a difference in the world.
That is so good. And that is what we're going to leave with today's message as we continue to allow people to make impact. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you at the next episode.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
This podcast is funded by the Government of Nova Scotia.